Indonesia says defence cooperation with Australia could be reviewed over the government's position on Israel. Tension between the two countries has been rising since Scott Morrison suggested he was open to relocating the Australian embassy in Israel from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, a move opposed by Palestinians. Here's Indonesia correspondent David Lipson.
Australia and Indonesia have enjoyed relatively warm military ties in recent years. Maritime exercises, training drills and the recent upgrading of formal security ties to a comprehensive strategic partnership. Well, now Australia's position on its embassy in Israel could provide something of a stumbling block to all of that progress. After the ABC put a question to the Indonesian Ministry of Defence about that issue, Brigadier General Totok Sugiharto said, quote, "For the time being, the defence cooperation commitment will continue." He went on to say it will be a subject for review in the future whether or not this cooperation is beneficial to both parties. Now that is a fairly pointed diplomatic shot across the bow, particularly just a couple of days after a senior source told the ABC that the trade deal, which is due to be completed before the end of this year, could be suspended. Now that's since been denied, but clearly the threat to bilateral relations is now out in the open, and we saw that with the formal spokesperson for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who said that of course policy and actions could be adjusted depending on how this pans out.
The issue of Palestine, it's very important to Indonesia and to the people of Indonesia. Is also a mandate ensuring that a mandate in our constitution. So, of course, we will adjust our policy or our actions depending on the situation.
Indonesia's not just upset about Scott Morrison's openness to moving Australia's embassy to Jerusalem, it's also the leaking of heated text messages sent by Indonesia's Foreign Minister Retno Marsudi to her Australian counterpart Maurice Payne, which were reported in the Australian media. Now, Australia's ambassador here in Jakarta, Gary Quinlan, was hauled in to explain how that happened to Retno Marsudi, the Indonesian Foreign Minister, and that was the second time he was summoned for a please explain in just 3 days.